언제 풀이?
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we're good. We're
Okay.
good.
This is the Town of Pembroke Park Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Meeting is called to order at 6:04. Virtual instructions. Notice is hereby given that the Planning and Zoning Board of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida will hold a virtual Planning and Zoning Board meeting utilizing communications media technology in accordance with the Emergency Ordinance 2020-009 dated November 10th, 2020, pertaining to conducting local government meetings while under the public health emergency related to COVID. Today is Thursday, February 18th, 2021 at 6 p.m. You can dial in using your phone. The toll-free number is 1-866-899-4679, or you can also call 1-571-317-3116. The access code number is 517-300-437. Again, the access code is 517-300-437. 2 hours prior to the meeting, you can submit a text or voicemail at 954-707-9820. Any members of the public wishing to comment publicly on any matters, including on items on the agenda, may submit their comments by email to the town clerk at town.clerk@tppfl.gov. All comments submitted by email all comments submitted by email that, if read orally, are 3 minutes or less, shall be read into the record. All comments submitted by email shall be made a part of the public record. If any member of the public requires additional information about this meeting or has any questions about how to submit a public comment at the meeting, please contact Marlene Martel, Town Clerk, Town of Pembroke Park, 3150 Southwest 52nd Avenue, Pembroke Park, Florida, 33023 954. You could call 954-966-4600, extension 235, and the email again is townclerk@tppfl.gov. At the present time, I don't have any public comment that has been submitted to the clerk's office. Roll call. Mr. Schrader.
Here.
Miss Benedy.
Yeah, here.
Okay, and Mr. Roach.
Here.
We have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance, everyone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda is the introduction of our town planner, Heidi Siegel.
I just wanted to introduce myself to the Planning and Zoning Board members as well as our applicants. Last year, the town decided to bring planning services into the town as an in-house employee. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a native of Broward County. I actually live in Hollywood, very close to the town off of Park Road. And I have over 20 years experience, 22 years experience, professional planning, most of it here in Broward County and at the director administration level. And I look forward to working with you and guiding you through the Planning and Zoning Board process. I want to say I really appreciate everyone using the cameras and the new technology so that we can keep applications going in town tonight. So thank you for that. I'll take the next item, which is the selection of board member positions. Because you all have been recently reappointed or appointed to the board, we need to select a chair and a vice chair for the board. Generally, the position of chair is someone who runs the meetings, what Marlene has been doing throughout the meeting, and myself. And the vice chair steps in when the chair is not available. So you can either nominate yourself or someone else on the board to be chair. So we'll open it up to the board members right now. Is there anyone interested in being chair or nominating someone to be chair?
I have done it before. This is David Roach, and I will nominate myself to be chair again.
Is there
Do
anyone
we
else?
have a second?
Thank you.
Do we have a second?
Yes, second, Emma.
I'm gonna do roll call. Mr. Schrader,
Yes.
okay. Ms. Benedy,
Yes,
Mr. Roach,
Yes,
congratulations, you're now the chair.
thank you.
Congratulations. Do we have a nomination or a volunteer for vice chair?
Would Mr. Schrader like to be vice chair?
We can't hear you, sir.
I'm fairly new on this board, so I'm a leftover from the code enforcement board. So I would say no.
Well, Ms. Benedy, I guess it's up to you.
no,
I think we have a problem.
Town attorney, is this something that we, even though it is in the code, it's something we can wait until we have more members on the board?
Yes, we can wait.
Okay, great. Mr. Roach, you just need to make sure you attend every meeting between now and then.
Not a
So-
problem.
Great. So we'll hand off the agenda to you, number 7.
Okay. 7.1, site plan for Seneca Car Wash, consultant town planner, Michael Miller. MMPZB, staff report, backup site plan, Seneca Car Wash, January 15, 2021.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Nice to see you all again, at least virtually. We've spent many hours together over the years. I'll still be around for the foreseeable future. My role is to hand the baton to Ms. Siegel, who I've worked with before over the years. And you know, eventually as I age, you know, and my hair grows longer on my chinny chin chin, you know, I can retire to a mobile home community.
We have room in Dale Village for you, Michael.
There you go. It's better here than it is most of the country with freezing right now.
yes, exactly.
We have a couple items on the agenda tonight for consideration. 2 items are related, and we have a separate freestanding item. The first 2 items are related to a site plan approval and a related special permit application for a proposed, we'll call it an auto laundry within an enclosed building. The subject site, most of you are familiar with, is on Hollandale Beach Boulevard at 3441 West Hollandale Beach Boulevard. Within the planned Seneca Industrial Park, which I think we're all very proud of, at 32nd Avenue and Hollandale Beach Boulevard. In 1989, I believe it was, the developers, there was a big lake there. Some people came in and they asked to fill in the lake and create a master business park. There's 2 portions of the park. The frontage along Hollandale Beach Boulevard between Channel 10 and there's a multifamily complex called Sundrift Plaza, Sundrift Towers, is zone B1 commercial. It does have a special zoning district that allows a little variation of the uses from the normal B1 district. There's a driveway, a private road on the north side of the commercial property that separates the big industrial buildings to the north of that. There was 1,500,000 square feet approved for the industrial area. Right now we have about a little over 1.4 million square feet built in that industrial park. There's only one small site left at the far north end that could accommodate another small industrial building. Along the commercial frontage, there was a master site plan approved. Back in those days, they really didn't know what was going to be there. So the site plan shows two, I'll call them U-shaped commercial buildings with the openings facing Pembroke Road. I'm sorry, facing Hollandale Beach Boulevard. The eastern side of the site, I think you'll remember, long time back, I don't know if any of you were around, the first owners wanted to build a multi-story office building with an attached garage. It was going to be a corporate headquarters for an insurance company. They exist in Miami-Dade County on Miracle Mile near Golden Glades Interchange. They had complete approval from the town, and I believe Dade County talked them into staying down there and gave them some incentives. They subsequently sold the property, and a developer came in and got a shopping center approved. These are the deepest commercial properties we have in the community. So that started construction, and unfortunately there was some problems with the developer and the contractor, and that one went into bankruptcy, and it's sitting there kind of half done. On the west side of 32nd Avenue, also known as Seneca Boulevard, it was split into three pieces. At the corner is a small office building where Broward Sheriff's Office has their South Regional offices. Next to that, there's a credit union, First Florida Credit Union. Then there's the subject property, which is an empty lot right now. And then Channel 10's complex is next door to that. The site is 1.1 acres in size. The developers, which are representatives, which are attending the meeting tonight, originally came before us and were processing a pretty neat looking 3-story office building complex, which would have been great, as a corporate headquarters type of thing, or, professional offices. That was about 2 years ago, I believe. Unbeknownst to them and the rest of the world, COVID happened. And I think there's going to be a shakeout in the real estate industry for many years to come. A lot of people, just like we are doing right now, are meeting virtually. A lot of commercial office space and retail space is now vacant. And we may not see them recover until the vaccine is, most people get that and the economy recovers, which I think is going to take several years. There's lots of people that have defaulted on mortgages and leases, both residentially, commercially. So that needs to work itself out. So the developer came to us and they said, we would love to go forward with this project, but we don't think there's a market for office right now. We've been approached by a party who wants to build a commercial car wash, not a hand car wash, but one in a building. And the particular brand has some interesting features to it. They have an outside area for vacuum services and drying your vehicle and so forth. So we talked about that, and they have now filed a site plan application for this enclosed car wash in a building. And on the east part of the site, the west side, would be a parking area that has, I'll call them stations, that are interesting architecturally. And they have a vacuum system and I believe air for tires and so forth. So the particular brand is not that important. It's called Sonny's, which is, if you know this brand, there are in South Florida and other areas. They're leading edge for technology for automated car washes. Normally we don't allow car washes in our commercial area, we do have hand car washes, which are allowed as an accessory use at a gas station, basically. And we have several of those in the town. When this property was being master planned and we had to do some rezonings and some comp plan amendment tweaking once the master plan was created, there was a rezoning ordinance for the commercial property that added into that a list of uses that might be considered by special permit if the town approved them. One of those uses was called an auto laundry in an enclosed building. So what the reason, this is a normal site plan approval, but the reason the special permit is here as well is because of that ordinance, which mandates that before the town can allow a car wash to be built in an enclosed building, a special permit has to be issued by the town. Secondly, the B1 code says that all activities must occur inside a completely enclosed building. So in this case, since there's these outdoor stations with vacuum and detailing and so forth, that is the second component to the special permit. So our code allows people to request such uses by special permit. So these work hand in glove with the special permit for the land use itself and for the outdoor vacuum, and secondly, the site plan approval. So the site is not all that big. As I mentioned, the proposal is to build a rectangular shaped building near the eastern portion of the site. There would be a driveway entry going northbound, enter the building from the north, and you would exit south towards Hollandale Beach Boulevard. Then there's the parking area on the west side of the property with these stations for the vacuum and the detailing. There would be some parking along the frontage of Hollandale Beach Boulevard. And, quite frankly, places like this, it's mostly a drive-through type of thing. The code would require that they have a fairly minimal amount of parking spaces based on the square footage. They have a lot more than that. So we don't perceive that there would ever be a problem with parking. People come, it's a drive-through type of thing. They would either do the vacuum and then leave pretty quick. The access to this site is we've worked hard on over the years. The idea has always been to reduce the number of driveway cuts onto major roads, and DOT is a big proponent of this. So we have the signalized intersection at 32nd Avenue, also known as Seneca Boulevard. There was an allowance on the plat to build another driveway entrance in front of the credit union, but they never built that. And what we did is we required internal to the parcel a frontage road, if you will. So you can come into the BSO site, you can drive across into the credit union site, then you will be able to cross into this site. And then when Channel 10 was approved, we made sure that their eastern driveway had an easement recorded for access to connect that frontage road. So there is a recorded easement that allows these properties to access Hollandale Beach Boulevard at that point. So there is really good access here. People can come and go out of that entrance. They can go to the driveway on the north. They can come out to 32nd Avenue at the signalized intersection and travel east and west. So it really has excellent access and circulation. We took this application before the staff review, the development review committee meeting on, I believe, 2 occasions. A little tweaking was done, and the development review committee recommended that this be approved and move forward to the planning and zoning board and eventually the town commission for approval. And so that's the site plan approval. On the special permit, as related, like I said, this is a use that can be approved by special permit, as well as the outdoor vacuum areas. It is, up to the Planning and Zoning Board and the Commission to think about this and think if they want this land use at this location. It is something that we can approve. You're not mandated to approve it, but that is why this is before you. So, our office prepared the staff reports for both items and recommended approval of both, given the circumstance with the economy and the pandemic. And it's really kind of an interesting looking building, quite frankly. It's not, junky like a hand car wash. It's a pretty neat looking building. It's totally automated. So that kind of completes our presentation. You may want to have the project architect and or Mr. Abramovich, the applicant, provide some comments and give you some details. But I'll complete my presentation now and be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Michael, this is David
Yes, sir.
Roach. My question was, why didn't we not have an access to 28th Street?
Is 28th Street on the north, sir?
Yes, correct.
Yes, there's direct access from this site to 28th Street. It's at the north end of the parking lot where the vacuum system is.
Okay, because I didn't notice it on there. And I noticed that we did have a letter from Channel 10 about the egress for getting out to Hallandale Beach Boulevard. Did we also have to have letters from the credit union and from BSO?
No, there is a recorded easements across those properties. Channel 10, quite frankly, would like to keep their little driveway that goes into their eastern part of the building, which is where they park their trucks with the satellite dishes they send out into the field. They would love to keep that to themselves, but DOT, as part of their approval, required them to record an easement for access to this site. I'm not sure how much traffic will actually use this, but it is legal access that ties the whole frontage road together.
What kind of signage are they going to use? Because since we do not have direct access into the car wash from Hallandale Beach Boulevard, since you do have to egress in from two different areas, are they going to have a huge sign or something there so that people will be able to know how to get in?
Good question. The building itself, via our sign code, is entitled to one sign on the building facade that faces Hallandale Beach Boulevard. And I presume on the north side facing what they call 28th Street, which is really a private driveway. I think they plan on also adding some signage on the east and west facades. That would take a sign variant, which is not unusual in our community. And they may, forget, not do one on the facade facing Hallandale itself. They are also proposing what we call a ground monument sign in the landscape area near Hallandale Beach Boulevard. And that would have although we don't have the detail of the sign, it would have the name of the business, the address, that kind of thing. And they're allowed to put directional signs, like at the driveway entrance, coming in on just to the west on Channel 10, they could have a sign that says, entrance type of thing. They can't really do marketing, but they can have directional signs. I think people will quickly become accustomed to the site operations and traffic flow, and it will not need like too much signs, if you will.
Yeah, luckily we've got a little turnoff street there, so it works out well. That's all the questions I have. Commissioners, anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I'd like to ask about the white building. What are there going to be people in there, or is it just all automated? The car goes in, gets washed, and comes out dried with nobody inside?
Good question. From what I know, and I see Mr. Martinez wants to speak here, the architect. It's mostly a fully automated building. There is a few employees. There's a small office area where you would come in and pay or buy a little knickknack, air freshener for your car or whatever. But there will be a minimal staff. mostly an automated operation.
And the part where you vacuum the cars and stuff, that you would be able to vacuum your car there and then also detail it?
Vacuum for sure. I'm sure people, they may have employees or people that would help you dry it off, you know, type of thing, and do your tires and so forth, but it's primarily a vacuum system as I understand it.
So would you be able to sit there and wax the car or, you know, something like that, or would they want you out of there?
I think I'll let them answer that question.
And I assume you would pay for the vacuum also.
I'm sure.
To answer your question, most of these, and I'm not sure what the final business model or the operator how they would run their business, but in most of these, the vacuum area is complementary with the purchase of the drive-through for the car wash. To answer your prior question, there's a small office and restrooms in the building, and that would be the only part that's actually somewhat habitable. The rest of the building is occupied almost entirely with the car wash itself. If you've been through these, you will know that the last portion of that car wash is actually the drying station. And though it doesn't dry the car as well as we would like, I think that anything beyond a quick towel pass would be more than enough to have the car dried and somewhat complete as a car wash. Mike, I don't know if they have copies of the submittal, but there's a drawing of the monument sign on sheet A2, and it's a very generic square rectangular, meeting the allowable area for signage according to the code. They're providing, or they're proposing one sign as allowed. And if any of the renderings show additional signage, I think that the final operator will be applying for variances to include those in the building, simply because the one sign facing the road would be the least visible. You would actually want to see signs from east and west. So that would be forthcoming by the operator, not a part of this application.
Thank you. Danny, can you identify yourself for the record, please?
I knew you were going to say that. Daniel Martinez with Ramos Martinez Architects on behalf of the owner.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Well, I guess we should go ahead and take a vote then, unless there's any other questions. First, we will vote on just the site plan. So make a motion, please.
And we would request that you include our recommended conditions of approval if you choose to vote in favor of this. Thank you.
Ms. Benedict,
And we have no objections to those recommendations, by the way.
Okay. Tomorrow,
This is the town attorney. Did we allow for public comment?
no, we did not, but I think Ms. Martell had let us know that there was no public.
Oh, okay. I just want to
Comment
make
on it.
sure for the record that we state that, you know, there wasn't anybody, and that's why we didn't ask, because that's part of the requirements of government sunshine stuff.
Mark, do you want to unmute everybody? We can ask that question now again, just to make sure. Mark? Mark? Mark, do you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. What's going on?
No, if you could just kindly unmute everybody, just to make sure that there's nobody that has any opposition for the site plan. I didn't have anything come in by email or on my phone, but I just figured,
Oh, everybody's unmuted. Everybody's
Okay,
unmuted.
I just wanted to make sure we made that opportunity clear.
the public hearing is closed.
Okay, Ms. Benedy, I think you made the motion.
Yes.
Please make the motion so that it includes all the specifics that Mr. Miller had mentioned. All the
Yes.
conditions. We have a second.
I second.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Nope. Roll call.
Motion made by, Ms. Benedy, seconded by Mr. Schroeder to accept the site plan, including the recommendations, set forth by, Mr. Miller. Mr. Schrader,
Yes.
Ms. Benedy,
Yes.
Chairman, Roach,
Yes.
motion passes 3-0.
Okay, moving right along. Now we go to the Seneca Car Wash with the special permit. I need a motion.
I make a motion for the special permit.
With the inclusion of all special exceptions, please.
Can you say that again? Exactly how I need to say it?
Would be a recommendation to approve with the recommended conditions.
Yeah, I make a motion that we accept with the special permit and I already forgot.
With the recommended conditions.
You're muted, sir. Mr. Schrader, you're muted. There you go.
With the recommended conditions.
Thank you.
Do I have a second?
Conditions.
Ms. Benedy seconded.
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion to approve the special permit for Seneca, including the recommended condition. Motion made by Mr. Schrader, seconded by Ms. Benedy. Ms. Benedy,
Yes.
Chairman Roach,
Yes.
Mr. Schrader.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you.
Okay, we move right along to 7.3, special exception, 5311 Southwest 25th Court. Consult town planner, Michael Miller. Floor is yours again, Michael.
Give me a second here to change gears.
Sure.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Good night,
Congratulations.
Eddie.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, this item is brought to you because this property is located within it's called the C1 Heavy Commercial Zoning District of the community. The location is 5311 Southwest 25th Court. This is the finger, we call it, that extends from Dale Village westward towards Southwest 56th Avenue.
Yeah.
This particular piece of land was annexed into the town of Pembroke Park in 1977. It was the last voluntary annexation that occurred for our community. The area surrounding this is within now the community of West Park. When this site was originally developed, it was in unincorporated Broward County and under the county's development rules. Oddly, I would say this area is completely surrounded by residential uses and has some not so nice development, I'll call it. Small warehouses, car repair. There has been some heavier commercial things over the years. We've had quite a bit of code enforcement action up in this area. Some years ago, we as planning for the future, looked at this area and realized that the town's only zoning district at the time, the B1 district, which is along Hollandale Beach Boulevard, was not really suited for this area because of the existing nature of the development. And it was not industrial, nor did we want industrial surrounded by single family homes. So we created the specialized commercial district, which is kind of like a hybrid between a normal commercial office retail and a warehouse type of area. There was a number of uses that are permitted by right. There are a number of uses that must receive special exceptions prior to the people moving into the buildings and redeveloping them. As part of the district regulations, it requires that some of these older complexes be updated to incorporate landscaping, normal parking spaces, specifically better buffering for the areas that may have outdoor storage or activities from the homes across the street. I would say that this area has been a great success so far since we created the district. We've had 3 properties redeveloped thus far. One is right up against the Dale Village Mobile Home Park. I think some of you were maybe involved with that just a few years ago. There's a company called Southeast Facilities. They do property maintenance for various properties in Florida, and their headquarters are in Pennsylvania. At the far west end, against 56th Avenue, there's a lighting company called Terzani Lighting. Very modern structure, paint, architectural features. Difficult site being right on 56th Avenue with some backup parking, but they made it work very nicely. There is some interesting architecture and landscaping there. The first use that got approved was right in the middle of the site, and this site is right next to it, or right down the street. It was called Yo Roofing. It was a roofing contractor. I can't remember the gentleman's name. He has now sold the complex, but he had the need for a contractor shop, and he had some machinery and trucks, and so he built a walled enclosure on the north side on 25th Street, put his machinery and products in there, closed off the area for privacy and security, put in some parking and landscaping, and I think the town was very proud of what he did with that property, and he kind of set the model for the rest of the properties. So we've had those 3 properties now. As I mentioned, the roofing company is no longer there. There is a contractor or engineering company that's taken over that operation. A little more than a year ago, this particular applicant, Mr. Applebaum is his name. Hi, Martin. Good to see you. Approached me and said, I'm thinking about buying this property. What do you think? What do I need to do? Type of thing. So we did our normal, communication and told him what needed to be done and kind of the history of the property and so forth. So it's taken a little while to get the plans together, and but what I think you'll see on these plans is a fairly, the building is there, so it's a kind of a plain box. So he's doing what he can architecturally with the building, with some paint and some other features. Like the other properties, he's proposing to build a walled area on the north side of the complex with some driveway access. It'll be opaque so that the homes can't see in there. We require a little bit of landscaping along there. Along the frontage on the south side, which is the front of the building, would be a more structured parking lot with some landscape islands and some shrubs and trees. Interior to the building, about the southern half of the building would be renovated with some office space, and the north portion would be a work area, storage area, testing area. If I understand, Mr. Applebaum will give his presentation, but I understand he has multiple businesses that he operates, contracting, testing, and so forth. I believe he was involved with the repair when the airplane hit the building in Pembroke
Yes.
Park. His firm was the contractor that helped make the repairs on that building. So there's some, that's the contracting side of it. So I think it's the contractor type of use that we want for this area. The improvements that he's proposing are, will make it look much better than it is and has been. So we are definitely supportive of this application. We've worked with him and his design team to come up with a plan that meets the minimum code requirements and will allow him to operate there hopefully for many years. So we are recommending approval of the special exception application subject to our recommended conditions of approval. And at this point, I'll complete my presentation and try to answer any questions that you have.
Okay, Michael, my question is actually for Mr. Applebaum. This is David Roach again. The plot of land to the west side there, is there going to be a driveway that goes through from 25th Street to 25th Court?
Mr. Applebaum, we cannot hear you.
No.
Still cannot hear you.
No. It's not us. Relax. It's him.
Cannot hear you.
Yeah,
I can try to answer if you will. Yes, there is a driveway that will go through on the west side from 25th Street to 25th Court. There is a gate at both sides to secure the area for their employees parking and for storage.
Right. Well, that was my main question because of the fact that there used to be a throughway through there and people used to take their bikes, people used to walk through that particular area. And I don't want that happening again, especially with this company there now. He may not be aware of it, but Michael, we've been here forever. So we kind of know with the way the community used to go through there instead of going all the way to 56.
Right, and Mr. Applebaum was concerned about security too, with the the neighborhood around there. So with his employees and whatever products he has there, he wanted to provide for the parking, some landscaping, but also have it secured so there's not people cutting through there.
Exactly.
Yes, by the way, I'm on the phone now. My microphone was unmuted, but I don't know what happened, and I apologize for that. Thank you, Michael. Yes, you are absolutely correct. We don't like the idea of people using our driveway, if you wish, as a pass-through. So what we've done instead is, with Mr. Miller's suggestions, if you don't mind, I'm gonna step away from my camera because
Mute your computer and you should be okay. Just mute your computer.
Mute your computer.
You're right. Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Oh, much better. Okay, thank you. So we have watched people come back and forth through our property. I've actually watched the kids climb the fence that is there right now and then climb the other fence to use that as a pass-through. With Mr. Miller's suggestion, we're putting a wall up on the north side, and then we're going to have a gate on the south side to try and deter people from using our parking lot, which will be our parking lot there, as a pass-through to get from 25th Court to 25th Street.
Very good. That answers my question. I just wanted you to be aware of it. Thank you.
Not only am I aware of it, but even after after the fences were up, before we owned it, there was a cow path that people used to traverse that grass area. So we are very well aware of it. Thank you.
Very good. Any other questions, Ms. Benedy or Mr. Schrader?
Mr. Applebaum, Mr. Miller said you were going to explain something about your business and what you'll be doing and things like that.
We are primarily a general contracting company. We have no crews. We subcontract 99% of our work. So there will not be equipment necessarily inside the yard. We do have some tests that we run from time to time on concrete cylinders as a result of some of the work that we do. But as he said, we were involved with the tragic accident over at the public storage. I do a lot of work with public storage themselves. You know, any small maintenance repair, asphalt repairs, building repairs, concrete repairs, those are primarily what our focus is. And this area will end up being primarily our administrative offices. And if you look at the way the plan is set up, we're taking as much of the space that Mr. Miller allows us to have office space, and I would love to have more. You didn't see some of the original plans that we had there, but we actually had a few more offices planned, but unfortunately, I don't think we had the parking zoning for parking that we were able to get that done.
Right.
Okay, you answered my question.
Okay, my wife just reminded me of a question. Michael Miller, is there any limitations as far as what they can store as far as chemicals and stuff in the warehouse itself?
We don't have anything really in the code that that limits the type of that. The fire department does regular inspections. They will, go in there once a year, basically. I know they show up at my office and they do their inspection and they look at what's stored there. In the industrial, the pure M1 industrial area, we do have regulations there that specify certain types of caustic chemicals that need to have special approval as well. I don't anticipate, and Marty can answer the question, but I don't see that, given this is more of an administrative office, they would not want to have things like that at the office itself. If you know the contracting business, they do some concrete testing to test the strength of it. So there's these cylinders that have the concrete, and it depends on the mixture of the moisture content in the mortar and so forth. And that's the kind of thing that they test at this kind of facility, I would guess. So
exactly.
Marty can elaborate on that.
Michael, you did a fine job. There won't be any caustic chemicals. There won't be any chemicals in the property. The testing that we're done is actually for the cylinders is drying the concrete. So it comes to us wet or semi-wet, and we test it as it dries. So there's nothing, no chemical treatments that will be used in that process.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Tamara, any questions? Any other questions from anybody else? I guess we're ready for a motion then.
How do you need the wording on the motion?
We
What
would
you're gonna,
request a recommendation for approval, including the recommended conditions of approval from our office.
Okay, I make a recommendation that we approve the site for Mr. Applebaum as noted
With the conditions.
with the conditions.
second?
Tamara? Unmute.
We can't hear you, Tamara.
I'm second, yes.
Oh,
I'm
there you
second. Yeah.
go. Okay, very good.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, we got a motion, we've got a second. Any other discussion? No? Okay, roll call, please.
Mhm.
Motion was made by Mr. Schroeder, seconded by Ms. Kennedy to approve the special exception with conditions as provided. Ms. Benedy,
Yes.
Mr. Schroeder,
Yes,
Chairman Roach.
Yes,
Motion passes 3-0.
very good.
Thank you
Do we
very
have any
much.
Yeah, congratulations, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So
Happy to be in the neighborhood.
So these items will be formulated and moved on to the town commission for final action. I'm not sure the exact date. I'll be coordinating with Ms. Siegel and the clerk's office to, package it and get it up there. So we'll let you know as soon as possible. We apologize for the delay that you've encountered, with the change
Everybody-
of administration. And I'm just,
It was, everybody had some delays. We did too. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you for letting us, get this thing moving along. And as soon as that's in, we're submitting into the building department so we can get all the permits and get moving. We're very anxious and excited to do that.
Good
You're
luck.
welcome to the city.
Thank you.
Welcome to the
Thank
city.
you. Have
We're
a great evening.
anticipating you being on the March 10th Town Commission agenda. We'll keep you informed.
And I should be there for that?
Absolutely. It's a virtual meeting as well. We'll keep you informed along the way.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Good night. Michael Miller, great job as always, sir. We appreciate it.
no problem.
Do we have any
Do you have any
reports of, yep, do we have any reports of committees and city staff?
No, sir.
No, sir. Do we have any unfinished business?
No.
Always have some of that.
I need a motion to adjourn, please.
I have a question.
Yep, fire away.
Again, this is Gary. I'm an old guy from code enforcement, 5 or 6 years. I don't remember. How many people are going to be on this board, or how many is it normal?
So the code requires 5 members, so we are still looking for members. 4 were appointed by the commission. I believe 1 might be dropping off. So the 3 of you definitely have expressed interest. So if you have neighbors or know someone who's interested, please have them reach out to the town clerk for an application, and we'll work to get them on the town commission meeting.
So they didn't get anybody else from, like, say, code enforcement, or they just?
No, and Mr. Malley said to me in passing this week, and with him not coming to the meeting, I think he thought about it more, that he really is more interested in code and not planning and zoning. So I asked him to show
Yeah,
up.
well,
and give it a
I was the
try.
same way. you know, being so long on the board, you know all the stuff and know how to say things and, you know, so this has definitely been a little different for me, you know, with all the terminology, you know, versus the two, you know.
And we'll continue to work with you. What I've done in other cities with board members is I'm legally allowed to, and I'm happy to before meetings to sit down with you and review every application and walk you through it. I can't do it as a group, but I can have one-on-ones with you. So that's why it's always our goal. I know this time it was late with the new board for you, but we try to get the applications out a week beforehand. So if you want to just call me and ask questions, I'll walk you through everything before the meeting. That's what I'm here for. But like I said, we're looking for a couple more members so that we have a full board. I can't go into too many details because no applications are finalized, but there are some very exciting things coming to the town within the next probably 6 months, from famous type gas stations to other cool things happening. So it's a great board to be on.
Yeah, Heidi, I think his main question is there going to be a planning and zoning board?
This is the planning and zoning board. Do you mean, is there going to be a code board?
Yeah, code board.
But there are not any plans at this time to dissolve the code board?
There's no plans at this time, as the town attorney said, to dissolve the code board. There's just no activity taking place right now. With these applications as pressing, we wanted to make sure that we had a full board to do the planning board.
Well, I'm sure that's the question is, Mr. Schrader, I'm sure would love to be back on the code. And that's kind of where we're stuck at until we get, you know, our 5 members for planning and zoning.
Yeah.
So again, what was the word on the code enforcement? Somebody said they went to magistrate or whatever that's supposed to mean.
So this is a town attorney. A special magistrate ordinance was passed, and the town is planning on hiring a few special magistrates to help out with code enforcement cases. But at this time, there's no plans to dissolve the code board. The town staff believes that the more pressing the town staff believes that the more pressing need right now is for code members on the planning and zoning board, which is why we, you know, what happens with the code board, which is why we ask people for the planning and zoning board rather than the code board. And we really appreciate your willingness to sit on the planning and zoning board, because it's a very important board. I mean, you're determining the future of the town. Essentially. And so code board is important, but there's less need there right now.
Well, like I said, now that I've been through almost one whole meeting, I feel a little more comfortable, so.
Good, fabulous. We are happy about that.
We're here to help.
Okay, any other questions? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
We still need a second.
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks again, Ms. Siegel, Ms. Martell, Michael, pleasure as always. And
This conference is no longer
we'll see
being
you soon.
recorded.
Thank you again all for going outside your comfort zone with the computer technology.